What's up, guys? Welcome to another episode on Proven Power Cycles. For those of you who do not know me, my name is Eric and I am the tuner here at Proven Power Cycles. And today we are starting off with a 2018 Kawasaki H2 SX. So kind of a little bit background story on this one. He's got a full exhaust system. I think he said it was like a Scorpion style exhaust system. It's not super common, but he's got an exhaust on it. He's got a mail-in flash, and he's having some issues with the drivability mapping, which is kind of, honestly, it's kind of common what I see in our world. A lot of tuners don't really mess with drivability. They like to do more acceleration mapping. So heavy acceleration and full throttle stuff is typically what I see. Not everybody, not everybody, but a lot of times I see that quite often with a lot of dyno tuning operators is they like to do that. So they kind of do half the work, if you will, or a third of it. Drivability mapping is a pain in the ass and it takes time, so I could see why people skip it. But anyway, we're gonna double check it today. That's what we got going on. We're also gonna make sure that everything else is okay, like his fueling system, ignition system, things like that. So we're gonna just double check and make sure that everything looks okay. We also have a Jiger 750 in. We got a clutch replacement, chain and sprocket, and I think a few other little minor things on it. So this ZX-14R came from out of state. I believe he is from South Carolina, and we mentioned it in other videos that we were going to start on it soon. Well, as you can see, the motor is pulled. We're going to start going through this thing and start figuring out what happened to it, basically what let go in the motor. The owner assumes, or he's thinking, that it is a rod knock. We don't know yet. We haven't turned it on or anything like that. We're just going to go through it to avoid doing any extra damage. We're just going to go through it and see what we find and then go from there. So we have this. We ended last week about this MT-09. We did order some parts for him to get underway. We got plugs and a few other miscellaneous odds and ends. I forgot what else, but we did order a few things for him so that we can actually properly diagnose this. The last shop told him that he had a blown motor, which is kind of wild. So I think they just did an improper compression test, to be honest with you. There are certain ways, certain procedures that you need to follow whenever you're doing a compression test. More than likely, they didn't follow those steps, and it resulted in a very low number. So we are going to, we redid the compression testing, and just from our arbitrary numbers, just from our initial numbers, we're already showing that it has plenty of compression. It should have fired. It's not running, and that other shop told him blown motor. So it's got plenty enough compression that it should have at least fired and ran. So we're thinking it's more electrical. We're gonna run through it and get this one figured out pretty soon. We also had a custom order in with APE. I wanna give them a little bit of a shout out, honestly, because Pat over at APE really helped me out. We did not have a piston stop to check our cam degree. We have a kit that was from Webcams, and well, all of their piston stops were made by APE and made by 8. And the piston stops that we had, they were too short for these new cylinder heads on the new ZX-10. So we had a few other methods. We did purchase some other bolts that were the correct thread pitch, and we were just going to use those bolts, but they are stainless. I don't like to use the hard metal just in case. These parts made from APE, these are built aluminum, so they're a little softer, so they're a little bit more forgiving whenever you do use them and you run in the piston into the stop. So anyway, we got that new component in. I'm very excited to test it out and to start degreeing these cams in and start doing some more testing on the ZX-10. So that is for my motor, by the way. I did not mention it, but that's going to be for my motor for the ZX-10. So we have the kit cams in there. We're going to degree them in. And we needed that tooling to be able to actually degree the camshafts in. So first, we're gonna run this this H2 SX real quick and get this diagnosed for the gentleman, and then we're gonna move on from there. So thank you guys for your views, by the way. I want to mention this early in the video, but thank you so much for viewing, and thank you so much for the support. Again, the channel is growing exponentially thanks to you guys. Thanks for the hard work for Lewis. Thanks, Lewis. And now our new addition, Daryl, he's been crushing it, guys. For those of you who call, you speak to Daryl. He's awesome. Give us a shout. Go ahead, Lewis. Go ahead. Try to. So for those of you at home, that's a little trick that you guys can have. You blow some air in your grips, and unless they're absolutely cemented in, like some of these people do, if they're not cemented in there, usually you can get it out with some air. You can slide those grips right off. So little trick for you guys. guys, so we got the ZX-14 motor kind of broken down, and look what we found. Holy shit.
That's a heavy piece.
Yeah, he thought it was just a spun rod, and it's a broken rod. So this is kind of how we noticed it as we were turning it over. If you notice, we have, oh, we got some detonation, it looks like. Yeah, we got some issues right here. Yeah. Definitely have some problems. But anyway, we noticed as we were turning it over, this one came up, and this one took a break. No. This one said, I ain't moving, bro. All right, well, yeah, we definitely got some damage done. Well, you know, he was halfway right. You know, he said that he thought he spun a bearing. He
was on the right track.
It wasn't too far off, but yeah, I think it's pretty messed up. So it's getting later in the day now. We're going to, oh, there's more of it. Going fishing. Yeah, God, this thing was wrecked. Yeah, so it has been sitting for a while, guys. This is not something that, that's why the oil looks pretty grungy right now as well. Aside from it just being used oil. You know, the bike has been sitting for quite some time. I think he said it's been sitting for about a year, so yeah. That makes sense. It all adds up. Damn, that's crazy, yeah. Oh, there's more. But wait, there's more. Yeah, that thing's destroyed. Yeah. I thought I heard a little ting-a-ting. That sucks. But anyway, you know, he knew something was damaged. He knew the motor was hurt, and, you know, we're going through it. So that's what happens, unfortunately. But hopefully the crank, the crank's probably destroyed too. The crank's probably wrecked pretty good too. So what we're going to do, once we split the case, we're going to go through it, and we're going to look at the crank. Are you poking yourself there?
Yep, sure did.
Oh, nice. It went fishing for you. Well, you know, it is broken metal. That's quite a few pieces to pull out to be like, oh yeah, the crank's going to be great.
That's all the big pieces, and I think this piece right here, to be honest with you.
Yeah, that to me looks like it would have made contact.
That is bearing.
Yeah. Yeah, it's chewed, it's done. Yeah, he must have had some speed when this thing let go. He must have been going at a decent speed, because that's pretty tore up. That basically is what happened with mine. It came out in chunks like that. But I mean, he got lucky. His cylinder wall. Yeah, I know the cylinder wall actually looks okay. It's not all tore up. Now I know it's kind of dark in the video here, but all in all, there's no major. Yeah, there's no major marks as far as up here. Now, obviously, well, I don't want to push it too far. We'll push it up through the, you know, the right way. But anyway, yeah, all in all, I think the crank's going to be damaged. I think the crank's going to be destroyed. Well, who knows? We might be able to salvage the crank. You know, it depends on how bad it looks. We might be able to send it off in like Ape or someone like that. They can go through and clean it and check it and see the strength. You know, they might need a micro polish it or something like that. But all in all, you know, I think it's going to need a crank and a new cylinder number 3. So it's always number 3 though. It's always number 3. Well, I shouldn't say always, because one that we did, Catherine's, hers was number 1.
Well, that's because of oil.
But it wasn't a spun rod.
No,
yeah, that was because of hydrolocked.
And then she fucking hydrolocked it.
Yeah, so. But yeah, guys, that's where we're at. We at least we got that diagnosed. So what I'm gonna do, I've been working on this H2 SX. We've been wiring it in and getting it prepped here for an EC flash and dyno tune. So what I've been doing is just prepping everything. He had a broken bolt actually on the lower case. On the lower fairing, I'm sorry. They had a lot of aluminum bolts in there to hold the fairings on, and one of those aluminum bolts, it must have gone in a little cross thread, a little crooked. So as I was turning it out, it just snapped off coming out. But I mean, it's a cheap bolt. What do you expect? So anyway, I had to kind of shave it down a little bit, center punch it, drill it out, basically extract it. And since it's aluminum that got stuck in aluminum, basically what I had to do is drill it out, retap the hole, and then and we fixed it. But so what I'm getting ready to do now is I'm getting ready to put on this fairing and continue the flashing and tuning process. So we just got done running all the wire here. We got done running the wire through the back here, and yeah, so getting ready to start. This was the hole down here, if you can see right there. So we got that drilled and tapped and everything rethreaded. So Anyway, we're gonna get going on this thing and start making some power. Another update here. We have our theft recovery Jiger 750, and it is going home today. The owner is actually on his way currently to come pick it up. So let's go over the bike real quick. So there now. Let's just go over the bike. I'll explain as we go. But Daryl just got done cleaning it all up, wiping it down. Between him and Lewis, they've crushed it, honestly. Lewis put a lot of he got the motor in, the frame, the subframe, the swing arm, a lot of it. Lewis did a lot of this, and then Daryl started when he got hired on, he started helping Lewis out finish putting the bike together. Now, there are still little couple of things that need to be done. There's a little fairing that goes here. Obviously, this mid fairing here. There's still some damages here and here. There are still some things. The owner is well aware of it, guys. We are well aware of it. We know. But he's running out of money at this point, and quite honestly, the bike is fine to go ride. It does have a couple FI lights, but they're for just kind of BS sensors, emission sensors. So all in all, he's going to roll away and the bike's going to be okay. He can drive it and enjoy it. So, and actually, while he's recouping his money, he can ride the bike, and then eventually he can come back, and then we'll finish doing the rest of the little things like getting the fairings fixed and getting those FI lights to go away for him. So we could flash the ECU or some jazz. We could do something there. So anyway, guys, I thought this was a pretty big accomplishment. Honestly, I think it's been about 2 months roughly, all in all, from start to finish, from the time it came in bags of bolts. But regardless, guys, he's on his way to come pick her up, and it looks killer. It looks fantastic for what it is. I truly think he's going to be happy with the bike. We've gone on a little test drive already down the street and back. Everything felt pretty good. So yeah, we'll see if he enjoys it. Hopefully he does. So yeah, very proud of my guys, and very happy that he's going to be able to enjoy the bike now. It's killer, honestly. I'm very excited for him. I really am. I know he's been waiting. He's been talking to me a lot about the college friends and stuff. They're asking where the bike is. Why, oh, we want to see it. We want to see it. So I'm very excited for him to come grab this thing and go on a fun ride. So this is kind of where we're at now. Lewis threw it all in the bag. We got some oil, but as you can see, we have some pretty massive carnage. Maybe grab some. Just be careful. Like I said, there's definitely some sharp pieces. It snagged Lewis a couple times.
Some more.
Yeah, so here, so there's part of the rod. This is part of the connecting rod that came out. Another part of the connecting rod. We actually, so these little pieces, I guarantee you, are probably the casing then. Some of them. You see this light aluminum, this real light, this is bearing material. And then we also have part of the case in here somewhere. I don't know what pieces are what at this point, but some of these are definitely some of the casing, because when we looked up in there, the oil squirter is basically missing, and the casing has some nicks in it here. So that's this crankshaft right there, and we'll get a better image. We'll get the crank and everything out. We'll split the cases here soon, but all up on there we have case damage and we have crankshaft damage. There's the rest of the connecting rod up there. Again, once we split these cases, we'll give you guys a little bit more in-depth view, but yeah, that motor is pretty destroyed. The case is probably gonna have to be replaced, because where the case is damaged is actually right where the piston skirt, where it comes down. So more than likely we're gonna be replacing this upper here. Yeah, we will. But anyway, yeah, I wanted to give you an update on the carnage here. That's pretty serious, pretty radical. So pretty cool to see, actually. I kind of enjoying seeing the carnage on some of these. So originally the owner of this particular bike, he told us it had a rod knock, and that was about it. So
It had a rod knock.
I think he even said it was still running.
Oh my god.
Yeah, I don't know. I'll have to confirm that. I don't know. I'll have to confirm that information, but I'm pretty sure he said it was running. He turned it off because it had that crazy sound, and he's like, I just turned the bike off.
It definitely had a crazy sound.
Yeah. You know what's funny is mine sounded the exact same when I went to go turn it on, and I was like, I was like, oh shit.
Imagine.
A little bit on this. We do have, we're doing some trial testing here. I had to we had to kind of modify this bracketry here to try to hold the pump. So it's a little on the looser side. So we're trying to get the we went a little too much on porting on it, on you know, cutting it out. So what we're gonna have to do now is what we're gonna do now. Basically, we're gonna figure out another sleeve here to use, and that way we can get the oil pump held in there, and then we're gonna route the oil lines up to the front from here. We're gonna get these two redone. We've already marked it for a wideband. We're gonna go ahead and install wideband here, wideband bung, and get these things off the powder coat or ceramic coat, and keep chipping away at this thing too. This is gonna definitely be a little bit long term of a project, so it can be here for a little bit, but we're still chipping away at it, still making progress.